Everybody got a ticket. Okay. We need someone of impeachable character.
Get one of you hands.
Wrong building.
Back.
Hey, Steve, there's one thing that you did mention that I would like if you could. We're very much interested in starting that little mini clip session again.
Okay, put it down here. Or reply with your email.
I'm going through the list of stuff that I've got to try to be able to, you know,
I
make
have
it
the
6
courting
months.
ticket in my formerly nicotine stained fingers. And what is the prize? Zuz. You win a gel tip Oklahoma City National Memorial pen, a set of test leads. What do you test with them? I don't know, but you've got test leads. And a stadium blanket. And the person that's gonna take this home, I'll read the last three numbers. 7, 6, 5.
It's over in here somewhere.
765. Ah, okay. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, we have another drawing.
Everybody get one of the Oklahoma Aries stickers. Would anybody like more? Got lots.
Is that our only drawing for today?
No, there's a giveaway.
Oh, no, I mean the drawings. Are we done with drawings?
Done with drawing.
Okay, good. Aries stickers, C-Tom. Okay, general announcements, remember Ham Holiday. It's fun. If nothing else, you get to walk through and drool. Find out what to save your pennies for. Anybody have any, oh, Duane, you're next.
I brought with me, I'm giving a seminar at Ham Holiday on InFed Halfway Day. And I had built 20 kits to build an InFed Halfway fountain. They're for sale here for $30. What I don't sell here will go to Ham Holiday. Second thing is, how many of you know what AREDN is? AREDN. Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network. It's pretty much originally designed for EMCOM. About 6 years ago, I got really interested in AREDN. And so I read everything I possibly could about it and started putting radio gear together. We've had some really tough times getting a place to put the radio gear. We're talking 900 megs, 2.4 gigs, 3 gigs, and 5.8 gigs radios. So typically, line of sight, microwave. We talked with Stephen Hazelwood, and he has a long-term deal with the Sandridge building, forever, I guess. So Steve said, sure, we can put some stuff up there. So it took another 2 years to get him to put that stuff up there. Well, when he put it up, they never got a line. In other words, they were pointed, maybe straight up and down, but it never got done properly. Finally, we got 2 emergency managers interested in this. One is Galen Kitch, WX5MOR in Moore, and the other one is John Comstock, which is the Oklahoma County Emergency Manager. And John just so happens to have access to the Sandwich. So myself and Mark Klein from the SCARS Club and John Comstock and Steve Hazelwood went up there. We went through an alignment process. Dave was at his house looking at, he's tunneled to my house, AREDN-wise, and he looked on there and he said, okay, I still don't see anything. So we spent probably, 3 hours up there, I guess, looking at everything, we finally figured out that the building that all this stuff was housed in initially had no air conditioning. So Steve and John were a little worried about, you know, getting too much equipment in there and things overheating and getting hot, but when we went up there, it was freezing in that room, so end of discussion. We got everything as aligned as we possibly could. We made sure that everything was working, and then we left. Then Dave specifically did some more reading about radios and antennas, and found out that it's not good to have co-located radios, and there are 3 of them co-located at Sandridge. There's one pointed due south, one pointed southeast towards me, and one pointed north towards the Oklahoma County EOC. And they were all on the same channel, channel 170. So they were interfering with each other. Needless to say, the signal to noise ratio was very, very low, and I could see the Sandridge building, but the Sandridge building could not see me, because you have what's called an NQ and an NLQ. And they both have to have some percentage of whatever going on there. Currently today, we have the first RF link between my house and the Sandridge building. And I've been able to log in from my house to the AREDN radio at Sandridge and do whatever I need to do. The goal is to have a mesh across Oklahoma City, and even maybe out into Yukon and out into Shawnee or wherever we can get these meshes done. And those of you that don't understand what a mesh is, if everybody here all has a radio and we're all connected, Dave's connected to me, Hal's connected to Dave, and Coy is connected to Terry, and so on and so forth. If Terry drops out for whatever reason, if he loses electricity at his house and has no battery backup, the mesh will heal itself. It'll take him out of the fracas and then heal itself to reroute everything between everybody else. As soon as Terry comes back up, the mesh says, oh, I see Terry again. So it heals itself, so he's now back into the mesh. That's the goal, is to mesh Oklahoma City, Yukon, Norman, and more, so that we have a viable AREDN network in Oklahoma City. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean, because we've got people that have already said, oh yeah, that would be cool for us to get in the mesh so that we could put our DMR repeaters on the mesh. Well, we're probably going to have some rules about that, because AREDN is just that, amateur radio emergency data network. If you tell me that your DMR repeaters are going to be there as an emergency, okay, we'll talk about that. But the whole goal of AREDN is to have MCOM, so that the emergency managers have a way to go from point A to point B. So for instance, the EOC in Oklahoma City will have a radio there, an AREDN radio. And Galen Kitch down in Moore has one, and John Comstock up in northwest Oklahoma City will have one, so that, and all the other EMs, if you know they want to, will have a radio, and we'll all be able to connect together so that everybody will be able to see each other. For instance, Dave is tunneled to my house. We have Grandstream, yeah. We have Grandstream telephones, and they're on the AREDN network. And that's how we communicate. Well, there's another way to communicate, but we used to communicate that way. We called it our bat phone. So I never had to pick up the phone and dial any numbers. I just pick up my bat phone, punch a number, or punch a dial phone, and it calls him immediately. And we talk. Now today, who's heard of Ham Shack Hotline? Okay, today, Dave and I are connected via Ham Shack Hotline, along with, I don't know if you have one or not.
I do.
He does.
and it works.
And, Mark Klein has one, and you and I have talked,
Yep, and I've talked to Dave too.
and so,
It's a-
and it's free. All you need to do is get a phone and log in to the website and tell them you want this, and they ask you for some things, and it's over the internet.
It's a VoIP network, voice over IP network, which means it goes over the internet for hams.
And it's free.
Yeah, if any of you guys have used an office phone system within the last 5 or 10 years, they use Cisco or some other variant, voice over IP phones. They don't have a true phone line going into their offices anymore. They have an internet link. So this uses the internet link. And Ham Shack is the way to do it. But it's nationwide. All you need is a phone that can handle VoIP and an ID and get it set up. They'll even help you configure it.
Drill down on the phone that can handle voice over IP.
Cisco. I have a Cisco G504 non-Wi-Fi version,
Okay,
so I have to run a cable
It
to
should
it.
not
I
have,
have a
the-
Cisco 525G.
it should not have the pairs in there then. You're
It's gonna have an RJ,
like an old, like an old Princess phone.
No.
it's gonna probably have an RJ 45 that you
45.
plug into a router.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll have 2 of those.
So it'll have 45, okay.
Yeah.
Hamshackhotline.org will give you a list of supported phones. Don't buy a phone that's unsupported.
Yeah. You'll be disappointed.
And you can get those Cisco phones for about 50 to 75 bucks,
Yeah.
unless the price went up. I think I
No,
paid 50 for mine.
I think that's what I paid for mine, 45 or 50 bucks.
I would recommend getting the Wi-Fi version if you're gonna do that. We're getting way
Say
off
that
track,
again,
sorry.
say that again.
Cisco has 2 versions of the same phone. One's a Wi-Fi version and one's a wired version. They look the same. You want the Wi-Fi version because then it can connect to your home Wi-Fi network, and all you need is a power outlet for that phone someplace. In other words, it doesn't have to set where you gotta run another network cable.
Right.
Okay? I have the wired version of the Cisco phone. So I have to have mine within 25 feet of my hub to be on my network. So,
And just a Cat 5 cable.
normal Cat 5, which technically it's 100 meters, but I would get in trouble if I tried to string a 100-foot network cable through the house.
Bottom line is, it's free.
Yeah,
And it's so easy to set up that it's.
I have them on speed dial. He gets one dial button, he gets the other button. Because those are the only 2 people I know. So pick up the phone, call Dave, and he either answers or not. If he
My
doesn't
brother-in-law's
answer,
a-
call
My
Dwayne.
brother-in-law is a ham in Houston, and I don't call him on the regular phone anymore. He has Ham Shack hotline, so I just pick up the phone, hit the button that says his phone number, and poof.
You have to have a call sign.
Anyway, back to AREDN.